What keeps me from excluding the idea, trying to stay on three main aspects, goes as follows. Number one, the accelerated pace in which some traditional professions are becoming obsolete in terms of providing an income that can cover all the average aspirations of the middle class and their offsprings, and the way it is, on one hand, deepening the circles of corruption on themselves or circling their wagons, and on the other hand, by imposing drastic changes on consumption patterns, the down phases of the cycles tend to create an adaptive reaction with very underestimated constructive consequences. Whether it's because of the rise of the technological standards on task managing, whether for the low aggregated value of the service becoming self-evident on itself, or even an inevitable change of perspective on how to respect and listen to your own body, the fact is the common situation of a significant cut on average income is not always followed by a decrease in living standards. It turns out that the positive effects could be staggering. But in the absence of strong cultural values, the cut itself could feel as a total disaster. Number two, what legitimizes the authority of the government to impose the law? When we have masses of low-educated, ill-informed, egotistic defining by their consumption patterns what the norm is or ends up being, added to a gigantic political electoral structure over issues like anti-abortion stances that can identify no link to the job deficit matter, not even to the moral decay attached to the hundreds of citizens with no positive connection to the value of family or marriage where the link is screamingly evident. It's nice to bring industries back to the country, but be it the US, be it Brazil. But if the products are also obsolete, dirty, or unsustainable, the company could disappear just as a couple of thousands directly or indirectly connected to it would. Since our economical paradigm not only is focused on permanent growth, but it's totally dependent on it, the narrowing of huge profits possibilities along with the need for an ever-growing population at high rates over prolonged periods of time can cause the tensions to rise from problematic to chaotic in a very short period of time and for no rationally justifiable reason. One thing is to punish someone strongly when the subject was raised with, if not the proper education, with at least the minimum nutrition, physically and morally, to know right from wrong beyond just acting always focused on the biggest personal gain it could possibly get out of every single situation. But when it comes to someone that was left on their own through their entire childhood and teens because neither of the parents could face the challenges of parenthood, things could change drastically. When you have this profile as the majority of the incarcerated individuals, huge parts of the major cities filled with people living the financial and cultural exclusion, deprivation of not having the proper tools to navigate in such a complex society such as ours. Although some seeds grow from walls, trying to plant a seed on a wall and not obtaining a plant as a result really shouldn't be something surprising. Okay, teleprompter free now, just for this bit. I'm referring to seeds that grow spontaneously on walls. I'm not referring to huge gardens that are vertically produced. That's absolutely possible. Not only that, but it should be encouraged. I'm not speaking about that. Okay? Moving on. As challengingly complex as defining a basic number for the UBI is, just as what happens with defining small government, the question of how to guarantee that the sentenced had what he deserved after an existence of living by the day for so long. It's kind of a basic conclusion that there simply couldn't be that much jobs for a population that is growing fast with such little understanding over the consequences of their actions. I wish the market had a better history when it comes to offering solutions to moral degradation, since it is so opportunity happy. You just can't drink yourselves sober. Number 3, so that the definition of the amount and what effect the meritocratical aspect should have on that process could be seriously taken. The false argument of the no incentive presumption must be taken out of the picture. Beside the fact that the taxation system has got it sufficiently covered for quite some time now, evolution on a constructive and virtuous manner happens despite laziness, not because there's no laziness in society. Just one more thing to be cleared here. When I say taxation system has got it sufficiently covered for quite some time now, I mean that laziness is also under taxation, because if you're consuming anything anyhow, it's pretty much taxed, so you're contributing whether you like it or not, and you will keep doing so until the end of your life. That's what I meant by that. Which means this argument is comprehensible when it comes from a point of view that lost all perspective on what a free society really is, means, or should mean. From that level of discernment, it's just a tiny step to declaring war on laziness. Maybe the UBI, taken abstractly, contains a paradoxical question on itself, revealed by the fluidity reality seems to rearrange itself in place when the analysis gets too influenced by the current political, financial standards. The leveling to more logical and reasonable patterns of problem solving that a productive, healthy discussion around this issue simply cannot help itself when it comes to revealing, without the need to any pointing, the elephants across the room. For example, cyclical problems like planned obsolescence, or how containers of modern tablets, smartphones, and personal computers cost so much less than a container filled with heroin. Or poor countries that have to import with taxpayers' money very expensive medications made with compounds extracted from their own natural resources for pennies on the dollar. Or even like the existence of fake news agencies. All these situations could drastically change for the better simply by the adoption of a posture capable of dealing instantly with them. Defining properly a UBI could be one of the most important technological challenges ahead for civilization, one that could start a new paradigm because it implies a totally new scenario in which a free society, free energy society, becomes possible by the fact that there is no job loss remorse over the fading fuel industry. Just as an example, we are living in times of shrinking certainties and growing doubts, but when it comes to the UBI, one thing remains pretty clear. It's not something to be easily dismissed, and that is, to say the least,